This podcast was created on the lands of the Ngunnawal people, the Wurundjeri people, and Ngāti Pawa. We acknowledge the contributions of Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander, and Maori people to making rugby league the greatest game of all.
You're listening to NRL Hellmouth, the podcast where we open up a portal to the rugby league realm to see what horrors and delights we can unearth. Now, Neil the Seal might have gone back to the ocean, but never mind, because I'm here with two iconic big units of the intellectual variety. Daniel and James, how are you this week?
Oh, beanies and bucket hats to everyone out there. And on the note of beanies and bucket hats, still crickets from Snoopy. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to Snoopy and his representatives to be part of our first line of merchandise. Full disclosure, the Peanuts gang I do not care for, but give me that beagle. And Woodstock I'll take as well. James, how are you?
Charles M. Schultz, more like Charles M. Shithead, am I right?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Charles, a great artist. And the intellectual property that you gave to the world is no longer owned by you or your family. So our beef is not with you.
Oh, is that right? Fantastic.
Well, it's probably not. I don't know. Who owns anything anymore? Our beef is with your corporate overlords. I'm good, thanks. I've been out skiing this week, which has been good. I actually had a great moment where I fell over behind a family taking a photo. And you can imagine I was behind them. I fell right on my face as the photo was being taken. And then I realised that the family in question was a very popular New Zealand-based content creator and influencer. And I was very much hoping that he had put that up on his Instagram, and then I could have leveraged that for clout for our own show. But anyway, didn't make the cut.
And maybe he just hasn't found it in the rushes, you know.
Yeah.
Coming up in the show today, we're pitching a rugby league theme park and a game show. It's an entertainment extravaganza. So let's open it up and raise some hell.
There's the kickoff. Let the party begin.
Like, I unreservedly apologise to everyone for my actions.
I didn't intend to disrespect anybody, and I definitely didn't do it on the car.
Well, I've been watching the Seagulls, and not one of them is eating.
Pretty interesting round of NRL last weekend. We had some very tight games, some massive blowouts, and not a whole lot in between.
Yeah.
Sharks beat Redcliffe 66-0, and the worst thing to happen to Dolphins since SeaWorld.
Oh gosh, too soon. What
Blood
happens
in the
to
water.
Dolphins? And at home, I'm sure the Dolphins were expecting far better. But hey, let's just say that I called it first because things have been going south ever since they did that real estate agent role play on their social media channel. So since then, it's been 0 from 2. And prior to that, an 8-0. So, you know, the results speak for themselves. When you sell your souls to the devil, don't be surprised when things come back to bite you. But anyway, I do hope they get back to their best because they're an entertaining football team. And yes, there was some other good entertaining games out there, especially I liked seeing the Cowboys, who actually just referring to we will do a social media wrap later in the episode, but the Cowboys who bucked the trend of putting up not one but 3 #vibes posts of them hanging out around the northern beaches prior to their game at Brookvale. They managed to get over the top and had a little comeback there at Four Pines Park, and it was a great little spectacle. So very good to see and excellent for the game.
Has a few people chiselling up the gravestone for Fosball as well after that game.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it just reminds you just how much of a poison chalice these coaching roles are. I mean, you know, Laurie Daly learned just how kind of two-faced the NRL media can be after suddenly all was forgiven with his great result in the decider. But yeah, Foz is learning just how bitter a mob they can be when things aren't going their way.
They're a negative bunch, the Manly team. I've known a few Manly supporters in my time. One of them's a pretty good guy. Everyone else I mean, why would you go for them?
Don't rate them.
Unless you were born there.
Yeah.
If you're born there...
I think that's the problem for most of
you
them.
didn't
Yeah, don't
get God's lottery, did you?
Unless they came in and they were just first game was the 2008 grand final and they thought, this would be fantastic. But I think most tend to find their membership is in their postcode.
I did used to like Manly when they were sponsored by Pepsi, the Matthew Ridge days, and they were my team then.
Oh, okay.
It's because I like
As a
to
young
drink
buck?
Pepsi. Yeah, young buck drinking the Pepsi, wanted to support my favourite team, the Pepsi team, the Manly Sea Eagles. Sorry, Dan, back
Did
to you.
that really work for you? Was that...
It worked for a couple of seasons. I was a bit of a nomad of a supporter until I started to follow the Storm. Changed every couple of years or so. Yeah. Never bleed green.
Oh, intriguing. Yes. Over across the NRLW competition where we saw some fantastic games. Yes, we're still sort of yet to see a consistent string of close games, but we got to see some great football played across all of those encounters, especially your Raiders, Simon, coming up against the Wars. 8 tries from 7 different players. Grace Kemp, she is a weapon, and Shante Tamara and her sister Zahara were carving it up. My Titans got a great win against the Dogs. Jamie Chapman, 4 tries, and also very heartening result in the Roosters and the Broncos game. Both, they did get away with narrow wins, but as the old saying goes, if it bleeds, you can kill it. And I think there's definitely blood in the water. And I think it's your Raiders that are up against the Roosters this week, Simon, as second and third battle. And the Broncos will be playing... Sorry, we'll leave this for this week in hell. But, they've got some great clashes between those top 4 teams in the W.
It was definitely great to see the Raiders get on to on the right end of a couple of blowouts on the weekend. I did notice some of the Raiders fans at Accor Stadium for the Bulldogs game were trying to get the Norwegian soccer team's Viking Row happening in the stands.
I did see that.
Now, I'm not opposed to sort of pinching more Viking-related rituals from soccer teams. Of course, we originally stole the Viking clap from the Icelandic soccer team, but I feel like a clap is universal. Rowing, on the other hand, I mean, there's not many people rowing on Lake Burley Griffin apart from rich boys from Canberra Grammar. So I was thinking maybe we could be taking these Scandinavian and Viking rituals and infusing them with kind of more authentic Canberra cultural practices. So
intriguing. What have you got?
I'd like to propose that the Raiders tweak the Viking row into what I'm calling the Viking commute. Okay. Instead of miming rowing a Viking longship out to battle, you mime driving to your office job in your salary sacrificed EV and navigating the many roundabouts of the nation's capital. So you sort of turn the wheel left and then back right. I mean, it's not exactly a savage battle and a glorious ascension to Valhalla, but if you've ever tried to drive to Majura Park Costco on a Saturday, you'll know it's not that far off.
Yeah, I think, Simon, what you need to also add is a sort of the smug look of somebody that knows that they're still going to get there within 15 minutes.
Not with the roadworks on the Commonwealth Avenue Bridge at the moment, James. You would not believe the outrage.
And in particular when people have a crack, when they don't even come to a training session, they won't phone up to press conferences. Show some balls. And where are they now?
Those dicks don't know.
Last Wednesday, the entire nation was brought to its knees by a massive outage across Telstra networks. James, as a New Zealand resident, you would have escaped. But Daniel, were you impacted by the Telstra debacle?
No. In short, I belong to the other mob.
Well, it's a bit awkward for Telstra since they sponsor the premiership of the NRL, because one entity that was heavily disrupted by the outage was the bunker.
Yeah.
So the bunker is located in Sydney. Chris Butler was supposed to be the man in the hot seat there for Origin 3 last week. But thanks to Telstra, there were issues with the bunker's connection between Suncorp Stadium and Sydney. So instead, Gerard Sutton and Jared Maxwell are forced to huddle together in a makeshift bunker in a TV truck outside the stadium in Brisbane. Now, that's a lot of van in a car park's a long way from the sort of custom-built high-tech facility they're used to. There's probably all sorts of distractions. They might have had Blues legend Greg Bird lurking around trying to urinate on the side of the van all night. So, I don't know. Do you reckon this might be why they missed that obvious knock-on in the lead-up to Bradman Best's hand of God try at the critical moment last week?
That's right. Well, maybe so. But, I think it's a shame that it's a missed opportunity that they didn't, as you mentioned, the hand of God, they didn't go full World Cup and just, bring the screens sideline and have Ashley heading over to a cloaked TV screen on the side. But yeah, I hope they've got some photos that they can release eventually of their little makeshift bunker van.
Pretty disgusting that the bunker is not based in Adelaide or Northern Territory.
And impartial state or territory.
Neutral ground.
Very good point.
Needs to be impartial. They need to fly in.
Very good point.
And disappointing that this whole thing is not underground.
Exactly.
Maybe they could put it in Cooper Pedy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's neutral territory. It's already underground.
No, you're exactly right.
Nice lifestyle there for the bunker operators outside of the weekend.
No, you're right. If it's a bunker, it needs to be underground, unnamed location.
And a direct fibre link.
And
a direct fibre link.
have officials that live there and have no communication with the outside world except via the weekly broadcasts that they officiate on.
Oh, you're
to avoid
right.
any sort of bias from the media, fans, or anything else.
And they also have to have their own bloodline. Like, I think we basically get them in there as their own community. So they sort of like a Zoroastrian sort of race. They live there forever, basically just being brought up in the order of NRL referees or in perpetuity.
Or like Immortan Joe's mob from Mad Max Fury Road, and that's already the perfect landscape for it out there at Cooper Pedy.
Exactly what Volanders needs to do with this huge amount of money that they've now got.
Yeah.
Right?
Build an underground city.
Find children. Well, you've got to buy the children. You've got to first purchase the children from the seed of someone that's been a professional referee before. They don't need to inseminate someone personally. It can simply be drawn out of them. Bill Harrigan, Mick Stone, maybe even Graham Annesley. You excrete it from them. You then find the eggs of a
trusted
female referee
personality or young event,
female,
maybe.
Yeah, those eggs, you then create it and then you pay somebody else to actually carry that child for 9 months.
Yeah.
Probably need 30 or so your first go of it.
And then bring them up immersed in the laws of the game.
Yeah.
That sounds really good.
That's right.
Could you, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, could there be any ethical issues with this?
Well, what about the ethical issue of what happened with bloody Bradman Best on last Wednesday night, Dan?
You're exactly right.
What about the ethics of that?
I feel foolish for asking. I'm so sorry.
And in fact, that was a 12-point try, I would say. Because Queensland were very close to scoring. Would have changed the entire game and then it went a different direction entirely. Yeah.
Genuine swings and roundabouts, yes. But it was a great game and, a great surprise for the result.
Not a surprise for me, Dan. Not a surprise for me because at the 7-minute mark, we did get a half DAC on James Tedesco.
Yes.
I don't know who the DACer was. I can't remember because I was just fixated on the half double moon that we got. Now, it was a full double half moon, if that makes sense.
Full double half.
Each cheek
so
is one moon.
So this is 2 cheeks per half of each. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Could you just recap your findings thus far in the Origin series this year?
Thus far, game 1 turned on Tedesco DAC by Cameron Munster. Not long after that, Tedesco scored the winning try. Game 2, Queensland were trailing until Kalen Ponga was DAC'd. And after that moment, he then passed the ball to Selwyn Cobbo, and then they went on a very long run. And a few podcasts ago, we hypothesised that the team that had the first DAC or was DAC'd would in fact win, and that was the case at the 7-minute mark.
It's true.
Yes.
And it was all Queensland in the first few minutes of the game, but yes, as soon as that little DAC on Tedesco happened, New South Wales was dominant for the rest of the game.
That's right. And I think the jury, Peter Drury did do a commentating of the moment that you can find on YouTube. That is, of course, the World Cup commentator. And it sort of goes something like, one small step for man, one giant leap for cockroaches. Tedesco, Teddy. And on it goes. Like that. So that was good. He brought that flavour to it. Yeah.
Club statement.
Club statement time. Now, I think this is the first time that we've done this. Guys, have you actually noticed that we've probably done about 30 different segments once each and haven't really sort of...
That's the beauty of segments. People keep coming back for their favourite segment and they find another segment that is their new favourite.
It never returns. Well, we'll see if this one ever gets another role. But it's called Club Statement, and it's where we read out a famous or infamous club statement from NRL history. I will replace the name of the player with the word player, and then you guys get to see if you can guess the famous event. Should we get started?
Yes, please.
Club statement. The National Rugby League has met with the Sydney Roosters this evening and agreed that player should be suspended until the end of round 23, 6 matches including Origin, over his behaviour at the Central Coast Hotel on Sunday morning. The Roosters advised the NRL of their decision late this afternoon. The Roosters Club has also been fined $50,000 because of the number of alcohol incidents which have affected the club this season. Player was one of a number of players who volunteered independently of the Roosters to attend a junior rugby league function on the Central Coast on Saturday evening. Any ideas at this stage?
I know this one well. I actually have the full text of that club statement tattooed on my calf. It's Nate Miles, the famous Central Coast Hotel incident.
It sure is.
One of the best poop-related off-field incidents of all time.
But hold on, they didn't even mention the poop.
Oh, it gets better. I won't.
There's more in the statement.
Well, they never really put what happened in the statement.
Oh, no.
They have.
This was the statement that was released at the time is sort of somewhat atypical, which is that it was a joint release on the NRL's website between the NRL and the Sydney Roosters, and it was sort of plays like an article, but this was their announcement. But anyway, I won't deprive the listeners of the rest of the article because it is a peach. Noise complaints were made against the room in which some of the Roosters players were staying at 3:45am and 4am. Shortly after 8am on Sunday morning, Nate Miles was apparently disoriented and naked in a hotel corridor and attempted to gain entry into the room of a family who was leaving their accommodation. A short time after his entry was refused, so just picture that in your head, and the family had left, he was found to have defecated elsewhere in the hotel corridor and was later discovered in a fire escape. David Gallup also said, "I respect the fact that Nate tried to make amends to the guests involved and that he rang me to apologise, but saying sorry simply isn't enough. There are many inspirational people in our game, from the grassroots to the NRL, and they do not deserve to be associated with this sort of behaviour." Roosters Chief Executive Mr. Steve Noyce tonight said that he apologised to members, fans and sponsors and everyone connected to the club. "This is an embarrassing position for everyone associated with the Roosters, but we have to face up to these issues and we need our senior players to be part of that process." Now, the hijinks or the misbehaving that these events refer to as...
the defecation, Dan.
Well, apart from that, the sort of the $50,000 fine that came to the Roosters for the broader indiscretions during that month were, I think it was earlier in the month, the coach, Brad Fiddler, was found drunk and half naked in a Townsville hotel. And then only the week before, Jake Friend and Shandor Earl were charged over an incident at the Sydney nightclub in which the niece of ABC grandstand commentator David Morrow was allegedly assaulted. So what a month it was for the Roosters.
The good old days.
What a glorious time.
When scores were 18-22 and
club sanctioned alcohol abuse leading to indecent exposure or worse.
The amount of stories we have where the daughter of a notable other NRL player is harassed by a current player is relatively high. Potentially, that'll be the next research we undertake,
right.
Past research. And I'm glad to say that doesn't happen in the modern game.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, Dan, would you trade that not happening with scorelines of 66-0?
This is real Sophie's choice you got
question
me
for you, Dan.
This is a really philosophical dilemma.
Look, I probably would have answered it a different way until I had a daughter of my own. And
very nice.
That really changed, and I'll take 66-0 every day of the week.
Every day. Oh, so good, mate. Well, probably alcohol being less of a thing in general these days in culture. I don't know if you've noticed that. Young people aren't drinking as much anyway. This is probably helpful.
I've heard from young people it's mainly because of the prevalence of recording devices. Imagine we had footage of Nate.
When I was in my younger days, if there were recording devices when I was a little bit tipsy, I would have got myself into some big trouble. Big trouble, let me tell you. I do feel sorry for that poor family that obviously were getting prepared to leave very early in the morning, probably for a long day of travel. They're ready. Nate busts in.
And a drunken man with the odour of shit tries to get into their room as they're leaving.
Oh, God. Love to interview them one day.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there somewhere.
To get their take on it.
Hellmates at nrlhellmouth.com. We'd love to speak to you.
Now, if I recall this incident correctly, I think at the time Nate made the excuse that he was trying to go to the toilet to do this shit.
Yeah, that's right.
And then accidentally opened the door instead of opening the bathroom door, he opened the door out into the corridor. I didn't realise till presumably it's shut behind him.
Yeah.
Which is, it's...
And his body was already in motion to get it out of him.
Then the fun ensued.
Lesson learnt for him. Do not engage your brain to do the act until you're 100% sure where you're going. Simple mistake to make.
We learnt from his mistake, and thank you, Nate. And that's this week's club statement.
The brilliant Ryan Pappenhausen, but Storm fans might be asking the brilliant Ryan Pappenhausen.
Now, a segment we've done at least once before is the fan mailbag, and we'll do this whenever anybody sends us an email. This week we've got a email from one of our favourite hellheads, Adam. He says, "Hey boys, beanies and bucket hats to you all, and up the mighty Blues, Roosters and Ramjets."
Oh yeah, go the Ramjets.
Yeah.
Go the Ramjets.
Of course, Adam is the listener who a couple of months ago suggested rebooting the Adelaide Rams and Newtown Jets as the new Adelaide Ramjets, an idea which we very much embraced at the time. And Adam is now making another fantastic suggestion, which is a game show called Would I Luai to You? He suggests that we get Jerome Luai, Zach Lomax, any other wily contract backflippers to compete in a competition to see who's luaiing or not about their NRL allegiances.
Very good.
Which I think it's a brilliant idea. We get so much speculation about players who may or may not be unhappy at their current club, might have been having whispered conversations with other coaches. Let's cut all that out and just force them onto a panel to answer some tough questions and prove where their real allegiance lies.
I would love to see a non-player or an ex-player, Braithen Nasta, added to this this panel as well.
Yeah, Ennis would be good as well because he's, been associated with so many different clubs that would be great to see which one he actually likes the most.
Yeah, good point.
Also, it gives profile to a lot of the journeyman players that you sort of forget about because they're not at one club long enough to kind of register. The likes of Valentine Holmes. Pretty much everybody in the St George team that I can think of has made their name in multiple other clubs, actually. Yeah. And then there would be a role there for Sonny Bill Williams, the original sort of...
the original backflipper, yeah.
Club hopper. And Gordon Tallis, who also did that wonderful move from Brisbane to St George and then back again. So it's got legs, this. It's got legs.
Truth in the NRL is a dangerous concept, that's for sure. But I'm very glad that this came through this week because I'm not sure if you saw the timing is impeccable. The NRL referee stable just released a new ref to join the family, and that is Tyson Bruff. From Queensland, who...
Some no name, who cares? That doesn't sound interesting at all, Dan.
I know, that's exactly what you might think, James. He made his debut with the Titans Storm game on the weekend, but Tyson is actually the son of veteran Channel 7 Queensland news anchor and former national host of Family Feud, Rob Bruff.
Oh,
and
Rob Bruff.
With the timing of Adam's suggestion, we've now got ourselves a bona fide host. So, I think this couldn't have come at a better time.
He's got lineage. He can already officiate. It's a slam dunk.
Absolutely. And also, I think, you can also see that sort of experience of his father adding to his ability to referee an NRL game. Wouldn't it be nice if during a captain's challenge, we could hear this kind of thing?
And the survey said, top response. It was.
So, I mean, it would really enhance the game rather than seeing one of those sponsor things up on the screen.
The survey says try or which I believe. I was pretty close.
There you go. You're right on the money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, welcome aboard, Tyson, because I think you're a value add to a stable of referees that need a little bit of a sprucing, let's be honest. With all of Ashley's issues, shall we say, it's nice to have some new blood in there and great to have some genuine pedigree from the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. And welcome to being the inaugural host of Would I Lie to You?
Yes, if you can get your tongue around it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So thanks for the email, Adam. If anyone else has a deranged rugby league concept you'd like to propose, please send us an email, hellmates@nrlhellmouth.com.
And here's this bloke who wants to have a crack at the media. That's what we do. We critique and we scrutinise. We critique and we scrutinise. We critique.
Point his finger at me indirectly, I thought was weak as piss, just like his press conference was.
All right, just a quick check-in on team social media from around the league. Hot off the presses, just released, I think just an hour before we started recording. Friend of the show, Mitch Kenny, signed on with the Panthers until 2031, and they had a sweet little video, which was Mitch was doing a bit of birding, looking through his bins, as they say, and he spotted his contract in the distance and had a bit of a giggle and set off out of frame. So very well done to the Panthers team there. Speaking of vision and seeing things around the league, it's been Meta Glasses madness. We've had the Storm, the Raiders, both men's and women's team at the Raiders, and the Knights women all doing Meta Glasses. Now, as a warning to the listeners out there, I'll try and tell you what meta glasses are to save you having to type them into a search engine, because since I did it, I've been absolutely assaulted with all of the algorithmic bounce back. Meta glasses are Ray-Ban brands or Oakley brands, but basically you can record what you see and you can also talk to them like an AI assistant as you go, and they can play music for you and things like that. So there you go. Oh, and retails anywhere between $500 and $900, depending on what model you get. Anyway, how this manifests in the world of team social media is basically, if you remember back to when home videos, this is showing our age a little bit, Simon, but do you remember when people started getting home video cameras? And they were all very excited to get in front of one, but as soon as you get in front, you sort of go, oh, what do I do now? And I think everyone's a bit awkward. Yeah, so everyone's sort of walking up to these meta glasses going, oh, is that recording? And then they giggle and they either run out of frame or they sort of do something a bit silly, which seems very endearing and unrehearsed. But that's as good as the socials got. There was no one's really taken on the meta glasses and triumphed as far as I have seen.
Well, just great to see the Raiders using the meta glasses to film inside a change room where there are half-naked men around, because this is one of the major concerns that people raise with the meta glasses, is that it's very easy for creeps to just go into places and film people in various states of undress.
Couldn't agree more. That was very risky.
Congratulations on a terrific promo with the Meta Corporation there, Canberra Raiders.
Yeah, it does seem like it's a bit of a compromise of one's personal security.
Very bad optics. I don't know why they've decided to do it in the change rooms. Like, you could have done it at a training session or, on the team bus or something beforehand.
Well, both the Raiders and the Storm decided to get it into the team song. I think that was the concept. But then, of course, the players are wearing them in the rooms. And, yeah, as you say, it's not great for consent. Anyway, moving right along, we did have the Rabbitohs. Of course, they had a lot of media around Jai Arrow's birthday extravaganza. It seemed like it was a fantastic day down there. Golly gosh, if you're getting the Wiggles, James is out of the room at the moment, and he would be sad to be missing the chat around the Tree of Wisdom and the Wiggles, but also Albanese, Valandis, and Luke from Play School. Sorry, I should also mention Big Ted were in attendance.
Big Ted's still rocking around, eh?
Oh, yeah. He's been repelted, I think, sometime in the early noughties. But, a great day down there. And, of course, the launch, or at least the physical launch of the new Rabbitohs family. And it, unfortunately, they look great, but, yeah, it does really show up Reggie. as being a little bit behind the times.
Yeah, it does.
Because he not only looks outdated, but he looks quite doddering. Needs
a bit of repelting himself, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's for
Reggie
sure.
the Rabbit.
In all of my research around the Rabbitohs family, I did find some interesting tidbits around Reggie's origin story. So Reggie that we know is actually the second generation. So I think we mentioned in a previous episode that he was launched when the team came back into the big leagues in 2002. But prior to him, it was actually worn, I think, from 1968 until the team went out of business by a diminutive gentleman called Reggie Frid, who, and I think, so as the story goes, Don Lane, the TV presenter, he came back from the United States on the eve of the 1968 grand final with this rabbit suit. And it was clearly only sized for a large child. And so thankfully the groundskeeper, Reggie Frid, who's very sweet little fellow and seems like a really wonderful team man, he would then pull on the suit of a weekend. And the suit is, if you get a chance to look back, actually, I'll pop in the show notes this video. It's terrifying.
I've just Googled him. Far out. It's terrifying.
So if you really want to kind of ruin your week, search Meta Glasses and be bombarded with ads, and also look up a vision of Reggie Frid, and he will visit you in your nightmares. And of course, they won that grand final, I think, against Manly. So I think the rest is history. And Reggie Rabbit became a fixture. Anyway, moving right along. Oh, James, you're back in the room. How did you enjoy the Tree of Wisdom coverage from Jai's birthday celebrations?
Amazing.
Everything you dreamt of?
I thought the Wiggles added star power to it. I was going to say the actual birthday cake exceeded my expectations. The listeners may or may not know it was actually a Jai Arrow Jai Arrow jersey themed birthday cake. Beautifully done.
Yes.
The tree was there, pretty much the full Wiggles outfit, apart from Anthony, which is fine. And
against
I think
his religion to represent the rabbits.
Well, yeah, I think so. He couldn't bring himself to do it.
Proud Tigers man.
But I was out of the room for a bit, Dan, and I came back and you were like, and I think it was Don Lane in 1972. I was like, oh, God.
Just another walk down memory lane. Yes, that's right. You get out of the room, James, and I'll just get carried away with show business talk. But anyway, no, it was really wonderful to see that. And another cause or a big celebration across Sydney was, of course, the celebrations for Daniel Tupou's 300th game. If you go into the Roosters socials, there is an absolute tidal wave of Air Tupes content, including, as I always really enjoy, is a line marking video where they mark out the 300 number on the field. They've gone for a stencil approach. People can go and have a look at it. Maybe we'll put it in the show notes, but it has an unnervingly off-kilter kerning. I'll let you decide for yourself, but I'll just say that it left me unsettled and shaken. But I'm not going to discourage line marking videos because I think they're the best. So keep them coming. But yeah, it was great to see Toops having a big show. Of course, 3 tries on the night, and great to see a guy that is regarded as such a great and honest service man of the game to have had such a sensational milestone match. And finally, I will just finish with
most inno.
So this is the Warriors. What they're doing is one player is asking another player to answer some basic questions, but one of the players is wearing headphones and can't hear properly.
What's your nickname? What's my nickname? Rattlesnake.
So what might seem boring is made quite exciting by adding the word challenge to it. So what they did is they called it the headphone challenge, and it suddenly becomes a bit of an exciting phenomena. So
one player's talking to the other one who's wearing headphones, and the player with the headphones has to try and work out what they are saying? Is that the challenge?
Trying to lip read, and then they sort of... There's a few kind of mishearings which are somewhat comical.
You know what this is? This is next week they'll do the same thing but wearing Meta Glasses, and it turns out they've got a lip reading feature.
Gosh. But we saw there was the tortilla challenge over at the Storm, which was basically rock, paper, scissors decides who's going to smack each other on the face with a tortilla, and then they've got, I think, milk in their mouths, and then they have to try and stop from spitting that out. And actually, that one, strangely, was quite amusing. But anyway, that was the wrap-up of social media for the week.
Another cracking one, Dan.
probably the best rugby league collaboration this year has finally arrived, which is the Dream World X New Zealand Warriors WARS World concept. It will come to life next month, where Dream World in the Gold Coast will transform on the weekend that the Warriors are playing the Gold Coast Titans and be renamed WARS World. And then there'll be a range of promotions there for Warriors fans. I guess the concept being that they, on one of the 2 days of the weekend, Warriors fans will go to Dreamworld and probably get a discounted ticket. But you've called it WARS World. Fine. Tick. Not that interesting, but very good. It then got me thinking, you've got WARS World, but what we really need is a Rugby League World. And we have had a lot of concepts like this that have taken off, not least of which is the Bali Bintang team. And we sort of floated that idea, and then we got a lot of feedback from people saying, what about this, what about that? So for Rugby League World, I'm actually going to start from the start.
Please.
So I'm going to start with the infrastructure and the strategy before moving into things that are potentially more interesting for the listeners. But it just means that we've ticked everything off and we don't have to do a follow-up on it.
It's important. Foundations.
So first of all, Rugby League World will be jointly funded by New South Wales and Queensland state governments and the federal Australian government, the New Zealand government, and potentially the Indonesian government and the PNG government, which I know the PNG government is probably funded primarily by the Australian government anyway. But it'll be a multi-party funding mechanism. The bulk of the funding, though, will come from Queensland and New South Wales governments. Why? Because Rugby League World will be placed on the border of New South Wales and Queensland, I think in the Tweed Heads region, but right in the middle of it.
Cross-jurisdiction.
Fantastic.
Now, I know what you're thinking. How will the fans of the Bali Bintangs come to the ground to actually experience Rugby League World? Well, as part of these arrangements, there must be direct flights from all major rugby league cities directly to the Gold Coast. If it's from London, obviously you can have a stopover. But from PNG, from Bali, from Perth, etc., directly into the Gold Coast, which is now going to be called the Rugby League route. So then you've got the funding for the infrastructure. You've got it positioned perfectly at the nexus of rugby league within the world, which is at the border of New South Wales and Queensland. And that's where the actual venture will take place. Second of all, we've spoken quite a lot about mascots and that sort of thing now, and I just want to get this out of the way. Mascots of all major clubs will be available at Rugby League World on every single day.
Oh, great.
However, and most noteworthy, they will actually be funded by the clubs themselves and not Rugby League World. So, in order for Reggie the Rabbit to be there, Stormman, Victor, etc., that will be for the respective clubs to actually organise that, the dry cleaning of the suits, and they must be available most days of the week. Okay?
This is very thorough. Thank you, James.
And then secondly, all teams that are playing in the greater Brisbane Gold Coast area on a day, i.e. if you're playing the Dolphins, the Broncos or the Titans, instead of wandering around aimlessly and playing a game of cricket on a bit of lawn, you will be required to do all your vibe posting from Rugby League World. Now, on entry to Rugby League World, there will be a mandatory lengthy tour of the Rugby League Hall of Fame that will also be housed there. And there will be a mandatory 30-minute film that everybody has to watch regarding rugby league history and what rugby league means, at which point you are then allowed to be released into the 5 worlds of Rugby League World, which are the NRL, the NRLW, the State of Origin World, Community Rugby League World, and the World, which is everywhere else in the world that plays rugby league. But I do have 3 rides. Now, you ready for them? Okay.
Yeah, great.
I'll start with probably what will be the jewel in the crown of Rugby League world, which is called the Origin Decider Twin Vortex Coaster. And that is a dual coaster. You can imagine it, many loops and whatnot. That's less interesting. The interesting thing is that there will be a Queensland side and entry point and a New South Wales side and entry point. And you can choose which side you're going to go on.
Wow.
Now, the coasters start at the same time, and as you move through the coaster, you'll see the score changing because, of course, this is the Origin Decider. If you're in the Queensland roller coaster, you will yell Queenslander at the top of your lungs, and that will increase your score. New South Wales will yell Cattle Dog, of course, and that will increase their score. And at the end of each run of the roller coaster, there'll be a different score based on the level of screaming that took place by the respective teams.
Wow.
Who are partaking in it. So pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
Really good. Yeah.
Now, something for the kiddies is the give and go. Similar to the cha-cha, which I think you both know.
Yes.
The cha-cha is one where you go into the seat and then you kind of you kind of move around in a funny little way in your pod. But the give and go means that when you're in the cha-cha and you move close to another pod on the sort of octopus-like axis, you are able to pass a digital ball to that player in a give and go type fashion. And if you achieve a give and go or a combo, then obviously you win a prize or something like that. So that's a good one for the kiddies. Probably the most controversial ride is, of course, the bubbler. Now, the bubbler is loosely based on an event that we don't need to talk about. It does not, in fact, involve the edifice of the player involved, and I won't even mention his name right now because I think we've all moved on from that time.
For a future club statement.
But the bubbler does involve you sitting in a pod that is ejected out of a water-filled area through a large pipe, and then you sort of fly into something that looks like a mouth to complete the bubbler movement, at which point you splash down and the water goes everywhere, and it's quite fun. Yeah. So they're the sort of ideas and the infrastructure that I've come up with. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Definitely on a winner there. I'd like to perhaps propose another couple of rides. I'd love to see a sort of bumper car setup where a man dressed up as Greg Bird chases you around trying to urinate on your car.
Very good.
Maybe call them the Matt Lodgem cars.
Yeah, that was a different sort of chasing. I think let's not bring that into it.
Okay, you're probably right.
It's very hard to know with rugby league what's appropriate and what's not. Isn't it?
I know.
I think the general rule is pissing and shitting hilarious, assault not cool.
Right.
Yeah. On that, I think maybe it'd be great to set up a sort of a maze, which is based on the Central Coast Hotel where Nate Moles had that unfortunate incident we spoke about earlier, where you actually sort of start out in his room and then have to find your way to a toilet somehow.
Oh, I like that. Sort of like an escape room kind of thing.
That's right, exactly. But, you open that door. Oh, no, there's brilliant. A family here. And then another one, turns out you're in a stairwell. And
maybe to make it interesting, you're given like sort of a fast-acting laxative to start the thing. And, you can strip naked for the full effect. And, of course, you've got to unlock those brain-boggling puzzles before probably 15 minutes in, you shit yourself. And then 20 minutes in, a unsuspecting family from the park stumbles upon you.
Is there.
Fabulous idea.
Now, I'm going to leave this with you now, guys. I hope you just take this idea and go.
Yes.
I've got some work to attend to, mainly around the infrastructure and funding for this operation. But if we could get some more ideas for rides and that sort of thing, that would be awesome.
But I think you have an injured family member to tend to, James.
I do indeed. So, Dan, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this if you can be bothered. Anyway,
we'll
catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye, James.
I was also thinking maybe the Mad Mouse roller coaster could be renamed the Mad Monday, where you step into a number of cars that are decorated with controversial celebrity costumes before hurtling through and swerving as if intoxicated through a series of twists and turns, narrowly missing collisions with various public media nightmares, such as young fans or public vomiting or public urination or public defecation or canine encounters. So
the other one I'd like to see would be like the old Laughing Clown sideshow game.
Okay.
With the rotating heads, but it's just the entire Channel 9 commentary panel's heads. They're kind of slack-jawed, rotating side to side, and you have to drop a tiny Steeden in the gaping mouth at the right moment to win a prize.
I was also thinking another take on that could be the Cronulla supplement scandal, and you sort of have to put little pills into there and hope that it falls into the B sample slot, and you win a beautiful prize.
Terrific.
But some great ideas in there.
I'd like to think about.
This week in...
This week in hell, James has gone out to attend to a family emergency, and so he won't be able to deliver his usual incisive take on the game at large.
Stuck with a couple of idiots.
Look, I touched on the W before. I think it's going to be a great round. Beautifully poised because we've got a battle between the second and third team, a battle between the first and fourth team, and then a bunch of games between teams that are well matched. So that should give us a good opportunity to see where the league is at. So looking forward to seeing that Roosters-Raiders game on Saturday midday.
Me too. It's a doubleheader with the men's game at GIO Stadium, so I'm going to make an afternoon of it.
Oh, Simon, that will be fantastic. How's the weather looking?
Beautiful.
Well, as long as you can go to the toilet before you go, I think you'll be in for a great afternoon. But yes, finishing or on the Sunday, middle game on the Sunday is Broncos Wests Tigers, so that's going to be a great one in the 1:45 slot. And prior to that, my Titans against the struggling Eels kick off the classic 11:50 a.m. game slot. So looking forward to that. Over in the men's competition, well, it's going to be a tough ask for the Broncos in tonight's game, matching up against the Panthers, and it's looking like a tough ask for the Broncos going forward. Looking ahead, they've got the Cowboys in Dairy Farmers on the following week, so this is make or break for them. Elsewhere, I really like the matchup on Friday night, Sharks-Knights. The Knights have still got plenty of potential. The Sharks are coming off that massive win against the Dolphins, so you suspect they'll be hard to beat. I think the Raiders and the Rabbitohs, it's a well-poised game at GIO. The Raiders have done enough to sort of say that they could be taken seriously as a team, and this would be their prove-it game.
They did it for one game, so we'll see. Yes, it will be the have they rediscovered the 2025 form game, or was it just another blip in the inconsistent roller coaster? You know what would be a good ride would be a roller coaster based on the Raiders' performance. Just goes up. You haven't spewed by round 8.
That's right. Also like it to be every bend goes past another highlight of Ricky Stewart press conferences.
Yeah.
And, well, regardless of the outcome, you know that come 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, there's going to be another one locked and loaded for the fans to enjoy. But, he's back to his best, and I hope that the Raiders are too. Elsewhere, Bulldogs and West Tigers, that's the second chance draw showdown. It's definitely last crack for these teams. I think they've probably written off their top 4 chances, but they're all sort of just trying to scrap for a bottom of the 8 spot now. West's completely injury depleted, and the Dogs just seem in sort of no man's land, so that'll be an interesting one. And of course, looking to the final game of the weekend, Dolphins-Cowboys. Which Dolphins are going to show up this time? They're at home again against the informed Cowboys. Maybe they'll show up for Queensland rivals. But we'll wait and see. They are also kind of suffering from the post-Origin blues. It seems the hangover is lasting a lot longer for them.
The post-66-point thrashing blues as well. So it's either completely shattered their confidence and they're done for the season, or they'll bounce back. And, it would just be a weird blip that they can laugh about on Mad Monday when they make the finals, but probably get out in the first week.
Christian Wolf, it's your move, but we'll be excited to follow that game and the rest of the program's events.
Big week ahead.
I don't want to hide in the coach's box. I'm here to fight, here to win. I'm on the sideline with the team fighting hard as I can.
All right, slightly unusual here. I'll fill Simon's role, and I think, Simon, you'll be filling James's role. So thanks for joining us this week. Please give us a follow, leave 5 stars, a friendly emoji, tell your friends, and be good to each other. And with that, it's time to throw to Simon with his final thought.
Life can often feel like a theme park. Whether you're riding the roller coaster of love and relationships, driving the dodgem cars of your career while your boss chases you around trying to piss on you, or slowly getting squashed flat by the gravitron that is the Australian housing market. The greatest ride ever invented is rugby league. Even if it makes you nauseous sometimes. So strap yourself in and experience the G-forces as we hurtle towards another great weekend of NRL action. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Ave Telstra!
That's really good. But yeah, look, it's got legs, that's for sure.
James doesn't think so. He's left the room.
I think he's part of a home invasion at a chalet.
Maybe it's Nate Miles.
Don't open the door, James.